Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me log on to the chat. All right. That was just a YouTube talking to me, nothing else. Let's. Oh, man. This is kind of bloody annoying, bouncing around the place like that. Maybe I'll just hook this. Oh, man. Reed, man, what's happening? Reed, because you're my number one now, can you talk me about the sound? I had some issues with the sound yesterday, I didn't even realize. Is the sound good? Like if I was to walk away from the camera, like over here, way back here, does that sound good? Like if I talk into the microphone like this, does that sound really good? Because yesterday I screwed up. Oh, nice, David. Beautiful. I played with some settings. I messed around. It's real amateur with me when it comes to all of this production stuff. You know me, man. It's all bare bones. I do 99% focus on the actual lifting and all the things that I care about, and not a lot of thought goes into this other business. But I'm learning, slowly learning. Let's go to 27 this time. 27. Oh, yeah, that's better. That is brutality. Oh, fuck. It really lights that shit up. What's on the docket? What I've got planned today is basically some bench again. I'm trying to ease into the bench when I get back to that spot where I was at, well, a week and a half ago now or something, 2 weeks ago, where I was able to do 3 sets of 23 with 100. But I'm, slowly kind of getting back into shape with fitness and my weight and all that. Like I've lost a bunch of weight. I can see myself. So, oh man, that really. But yeah, before I get to the benching, I decided to do some flexion work, arm wrestling exercise. I think this is what they call cupping. which is essentially, you know, you pull the weight back, and then you're just doing this with the weight. You're kind of just like cupping it. Anyway, it's like a term. It's a term in arm wrestling where it's like a maneuver that you get leverage on your opponent and you get them in a bad spot. Anyway, the reason why I'm doing it is so I can work the flexors of the forearms. That's kind of what hurts me when I do a lot of benching. Although I haven't had any trouble since I've gone wide. I just feel like sometimes I like to do that anyway, all that work just to strengthen the area. Because my feeling is if I was to go back to narrow, or my previous strong grip, I'd probably be in pain again, which is the whole thing, right? Like it's all about surviving volume. If you can tolerate shit like crazy amount of volume, you'll get stronger. And so whatever that body part for you is that's screwing you over, you just have to look at it closely. It's probably painful because it's weak. Some part of it is weak. And so, which is one of the biggest motivations for me why I got these machines, the abduction and adduction. There is some weakness there for me when I squat, and it produces pain. And I'm convinced it's either something to do with abduction or something to do with adduction. Because when I do hip extension, nothing hurts at all. Everything feels well. When I do deadlifts, no problems at all. Even when I'm pulling, near max weights, never a problem in the hip. So I don't think it's a extension problem. I think it's got to do with hip internal, external rotation, something to do with the abductors, adductors, something like that. And so even though like I'm not having pain because I've kind of run away from the spot that causes pain with the bench press, in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's still probably there. Like if I was to go narrow and, acute angle of the elbow like this, I'll probably end up screwed over again. So hence why I'm doing this. Bells of Steel makes a forearm roller attachment for the stands, but seems useful. Oh, forearm roll. I need to look at this. A forearm roller. Chris, what's happening, man? How are you? Ignacio, thanks for content you share with us. Greetings from Argentina. Greetings, my man. How are you? How are you, dude? I've got a mad forearm pump already, and that kind of makes me feel happy. Alrighty, let me. Oh, yeah. Actually, just before I logged on, I had something to eat like 10 minutes ago. And I was on the phone looking at all of these arm wrestling handles, all of these different tools that they use. And one of them is called I already forgot. Rolling handle or something like that. Which is basically one of these, but fatter, metal, and spins very easily, I think. And you can get like those fat grips as well, which makes your hand kind of come apart even wider. and that kind of forces more, like it's a bigger leverage for the wrist to overcome. A lot going on. Loving life, Chris. Good man. Good man. Reed says, yeah, I think the roller attachment would be for sure fit your stand there. Just depends on the hole size, width you have. Yeah. I need to look this up. I'm really interested to see what that is about. We have a single hand attachment that is knurled and spins as well. Oh, wow. Yeah, right. All right, so these boys, my fellas in Bells of Steel, they know what's up. I'll after this, I'll go check it out straight away, Bells of Steel. I don't know why I thought they wouldn't have it. I just assumed that like they wouldn't. Like arm wrestling stuff is like, it's like a specialized, you know, it's a niche. I think it's niche, but it's probably more popular than powerlifting if you think about it. So many people arm wrestle. Like arm wrestling is older than powerlifting probably by a long stretch. Arm wrestling is everyone's done it. Oh my goodness, bloody forearm is jacked. Oh. Oh. All right. Let's go down to 18. That, my friends, is a forearm pump like no other. Pop-Up's favorite muscles. Yeah, that's right. I wonder how they came up with the whole Popeye thing. Why forearms? Why not any other muscle group? It's really weird. Why forearms? Why didn't they have like massive biceps instead? It's interesting. Josh says, I saw Flex Wheeler in a thumbnail said 20 rep sets are superior. Well, I tend to think so as well. You know, I've been hitting that drum for a little while now, that high reps is the way to go. But each to their own, I suppose. You know, everyone's got their own different ideas, but like for me, after all these years of training, that's the conclusion that I've come up with. You know, it's not that complicated for me. David says, hey man, where do you keep your silver play button? Dave, I keep it in my office. It's not really much of an office now. The kids have bloody overtaken it. It's in the office, like on a bit of like a little shelf thing. It's kind of out of the way, whatever. It's cool, you know, but whatevs. Respect from Albania. Darden, what's up, man? In the live. Octavo Dad, what's happening, man? How are you? Yeah, actually, I'm thinking about taking this vest off. It's actually quite warm today. I just have a reaction that as soon as I get dressed for training, I always put the same stuff on the vest and then one of the jumpers that's clean and pants, and I'm out. But yeah, a little bit warmer today. That is disgusting. Oh my God, I feel like my forearms will pop. So I'll do 3 more of those. So I've done bloody damn near 10 sets of this. I'm good, Octavio Dad, I'm good. Do I work tonight? No, I'm not working tonight. Shoot 42, what is the hottest and coolest you have trained in? Oh, goodness. The hottest, man, I reckon I trained once in the house previous to this one, in the shed. It was something like a 43-degree day. And I walked in and I had to pour water out of the drink bottle onto the bar to cool it down a little bit. Like I couldn't even put the bar on my back. Mind you, I was topless. So it was like steel on skin. It was way too hot to train. It wasn't a long training session. But I've done also long training sessions in hot weather. The coolest, probably 2 or 3 degrees, 1, 2, 3 degrees, something like that. It doesn't get below 0 here. But yeah, something like that. What kind of work did you have to do on the Evo? Well, I didn't have to do any of the work. I bought the Evo probably 7 years ago now, I want to say. Yeah, about seven years ago. I think my fellow was about 2 years old. He already came with a worked motor, so it had, forged internals, con rods, pistons. I think the crank comes already forged. So the block already been done, and so when I got it, I swapped out the tune that it had. It had some sort of aftermarket thing going on, which was a rough idle, and it was heavy on petrol. And when I took it to the Evo guy, he was like, "Dude, like these computers that this guy's got in it before you is like for rally spec stuff, like people that are running crazy amount of power." And so we put it back to the normal CPU, and I converted it to E85, so it runs on E85. Fixed the diff, fixed an engine leak. What else have I done? What have I done? Oh yeah, the gearbox blew up, so that was a 5K expenditure there. The second gear was screwed up, so fixed that up. I'm missing a few things. I don't know. Something like that's probably the major part of it, the E85. And then in the last probably 4 years, I haven't really done much at all. I started getting interested in this more so than cars. And the laws in Australia now, like literally if you have anything aftermarket, they'll pin you for it. They've completely killed car culture here in Australia. You can't have anything, you can't do anything. If the car's too lowered, you get defected and then you got trouble. You can't put wheels that you want because, all these regulations around that. The exhaust can't do this, can't do that. It's just literally the tint you can't do. You can't even bloody put a pot filter on without trouble. So it's just Australia has gone really, really crazy with all this stuff, and they've literally killed the car culture. And in fact, they've killed the car culture from multiple different sides. We used to manufacture cars here in Australia, and that's still a sore spot for me. We used to manufacture Fords and Holdens, like a special kind of branch of Fords, not the Fords that you guys get in the States. And also the Holdens, which is kind of like a Chevy related brand. Holden, once again, looks kind of different. And I don't know for how long, 40, 50 years, Holdens were being made here. And then They closed down the factory, closed everything down, shipped everything off to Southeast Asia. And now these two brands are pretty much dead. Obviously Ford is not dead, but like the version that we had in Australia is pretty much dead. All the cult followings that came with it, everything's dead. And probably, 5-10 years ago now, all of the manufacturing, we used to manufacture Mitsubishi here, and what else? Mitsubishi, Ford, Holden. I think we did some Toyota here as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's all gone offshore now. Everything's gone to Southeast Asia, and I guess, for profits, because labor in the Western world is too much, and so we've lost all of that. And I think with that, the car culture died. Like there used to be crazy stuff here, like car meets every Friday, Saturday, cruises through the hills, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, a lot of guys got into trouble, hooning and all that. But it used to be really, really cool. Like so, I grew up basically playing basketball and being all about cars, and this is why I kind of got hooked on the whole Jap spec stuff. Even though my brother, who's 5 years older than me, he was crazy about Holdens and V8s and all that stuff. I kind of fell in love with the Nissan Silvias, S15s, the S chassis specifically, S13, 14, 15. But anyway, my first car was a Ford. When I had my first money, I ended up buying an XR6 Turbo, which are really, really powerful cars. They've got a world-renowned engine, the Barra engine, which could like stock block, you could freaking boost them up to like 600 horses or something like that. Very, very strong. And with simple head studs and what else you have to do? Head studs, pretty much just head studs, and you can just boost it up even crazier. You could go even higher. And then if you really, change the pistons and whatnot, over 1,000 horses. Anyway, that was my first car, and then soon after that, I had that car for about 9 months and traded it in and got myself my first S15. And I loved the whole drift. That was me kind of like early 20s. I never really drifted or anything. I just loved the whole aesthetics of the cars that kind of could drift. And yeah, that was basically it. And then as the basketball waned, stopped playing basketball, the government started selling off all of the manufacturing, the culture started dying, the police started getting really, really sensitive over everything. It became just a dying thing. And then because of that, I was like, well, I'm not gonna, obviously you get discouraged, working on cars when every cop looks at you and pulls you over and tries to pin you on some sort of defect and gets you off the road, impounds your car. So then I started looking elsewhere, and then around that time I started falling in love with gym and training and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And since then, basically, I've completely swapped over from a car guy to a gym guy, and that's kind of where I've put most of my time. Whereas if I continue down the car culture, this thing wouldn't be gyms. It would be a car here and a bunch of tools and me working on cars and whatever. And I often think about that, how there's no way I did that. Like, it's just crazy how I thought I was going to go down the car enthusiast line, and they just died for me. I don't know. Lost interest. Ooh. Octave that says, Ivan, for the past week or so, I have cut out almost all sugary things in my diet. I regularly run and work out as well as play basketball. What do you think will happen to me from changing my diet? Well, I think just like when you stop consuming a lot of sugar, you start to have like less volatile spikes, you have less volatility in your insulin release, and with that comes lots of good stuff. Basically, the reason why sugar is bad and the reason why a lot of this junk food that we eat is bad is because it's got a lot of sugar, obviously, and the sugar spikes our insulin. And when the insulin spikes, inflammation happens. And inflammation is really the real enemy to all of this. It's you know, inflammation is the enemy, right? And if you're constantly having big spikes, you're constantly releasing insulin, inflammation goes up, and a lot of bad things happen. You know, your kidneys cop it, high sugars and whatever, and so your pancreas is constantly fighting these surges. What you really want is like a nice kind of graph that's without any spikes. So you'll have probably better energy, better sleep, better skin, better hair, better bowel function, and just like less inflammation. Anything that you think about inflammation is going to be better for you. You're not going to be as cloudy. I don't know, like everyone's got a personal experience with all that stuff, but you essentially become better in every single way you can imagine. For me, when I eat crap, I become sleepy, and I want to eat very soon after that. This is the thing with sugar; it makes you hungrier sooner. But if you eat fats and protein, then your hunger doesn't come back as often, and so you eat less, you feel better, you give your GI a rest, and when your gastrointestinal system can rest, then you can start to repair things. You know, when you're constantly in a digestive state, when your insulin is constantly really, really high, your body can never stop and repair. And this is why fasting is so positive as well. If you throw in some fasting, that's probably the most beneficial thing you can do. Bisma, what's happening, man? How are you? David says, holy crap, this is dedication, man. This is what makes you excellent and what you have to deal with in Australia. I know as a fellow Australian. Yeah, man. Yeah, Australia's changed, man. It's changed a lot since the last 5 years. It's changed a lot. Like the expense of living is through the roof in Australia, man. I don't know how people are doing out there, man. Living is tough, especially for the youngsters now that are 20. They have no hopes of buying a home. You know, houses here like start at $1 million. And if you come out as a nurse, like first year now, you make like 75K, man, 70K, or whatever it is. Dude, it will take you like 50 years to save up for a house. And by the time you get there, the houses are probably going to be 3 times the prices now. And so the whole world's changed, man. Like I feel like we're in a really, really dark spot in Australia and probably the rest of the world as well. Seems like our parents had it easier if your parents come from the West. My parents definitely didn't have it easier because of where we come from with the war and all that. But yeah, it's not good. That's commitment. I've done 35, aka 95. I'll take the cold all day. Yeah, the cold is easier to live with, isn't it? You can always rug up. All right. Oh my God, my forearms are killing me. I think this is number 3 set. Oh, yeah, it's definitely hot in here now. Let me chuck it on here. It's not going to fall off, is it? Nope. Um, Dan Miz says, hello Ivan, is a car worth remapping? Is it worth the extra cost? I own a V-Dub Golf 1.9 turbo diesel engine, was considering tuning it. Yeah, so a good tune, Miz, is always, if your tuner is really good, it could probably save you on your fuel efficiency and add power, which is really weird to see, but it's possible. I've definitely heard of people improving their fuel economy and also adding power at the same time. It just all depends on the tune. Like if you have a really good tuner, like that can really do magical things. My guy, which he services the car now and watches over the Evo, he's like the Evo specialist in Adelaide, and he's very well known for tuning these cars. And he's really good. He's really good. So yeah, I definitely think you should. I don't know how much it's going to cost you to tune it, but yeah, I would. It's a hefty cost. Oh, if it's a lot of money for you, then don't do that. Paul Walker, that's really hurt car culture. Anthony, absolutely, that as well. Yeah. Yeah, when Paul Walker died, like, if you think about it, the reason why I fell in love with cars and my whole generation was because of those movies. And so when he died, it kind of like really changed everything. I've hit about 265 close grip bench, 12 plus, completely strict muscle ups with no diet, weighing about 147, but I can't seem to find my passion for lifting anymore. I work out a few times a month. Oh man, that's unfortunate to hear. Do you have any advice for me? I don't think there's anything I can tell you to change your mind. I think you need to just look at yourself as a whole and just work out like what sort of man do you want to be. Like what are you after? For me, all of these things come down to a few things, and it's always starting with the deep stuff. It's got nothing to do with, at least for me, all of those things are just superficial for me, like six pack and how good you look and how this, that, and measure this, measure that. All of that stuff is very superficial for me and doesn't hold weight. What really excites me is the deeper stuff. What sort of man do I want to be? What sort of character do I want to develop? What are my kids are going to remember me as? What is one of the earliest memories of me? Like these things. My kids are going to grow up in a house where there's all of this stuff around, and that makes me proud. It makes me proud that I've influenced them in such a way. I want them to kind of grow up and see dad always in good posture, strong. He can squat, he can deadlift, he can bench, capable, So when we go to some of these birthday parties around the place, Saturdays and Sundays, seems like every bloody weekend we're going to some birthday party somewhere. I want my son to see the difference between his dad and the rest of the dads. They've got a beard we got and walking around, not even 40 or already have hypertension and taking blood pressure tablets. I want them to kind of see the path. And I definitely grew up from, when I was a kid, I grew up and I watched my dad, and he always kind of portrayed this idea of a man that you always have to be physically ready and capable. You are the defender of your family. I think men in general now, in these last, 2 decades, there's been a real masculinity crisis with various different movements across the world. And now it's almost like, it's a shame to be a masculine man, to be strong, developed. Now men are more interested in aesthetics than function and performance. Historically speaking, aesthetics was a feminine trait. We don't need to look good. We just need to be able to perform. But now, it seems like everyone is concerned about the man also looking beautiful and good looking and attractive. And so men have become more feminine than ever. And, spending 25, 30 minutes in your morning routine, putting all the creams on your face to make sure your skin is mint. See, these things 50, 60, 70 years ago would be laughed at, but now men are like that. They spend more time on their beauty routines, beauty stacks than women. And that's not something that I think is good for society. I don't think the two sexes should be the same. There should be differences. Women should be beautiful, men should be capable defenders of the family model. That's how I grew up, and that was kind of the ideology that I grew up with. Obviously, there's going to be variations in the population. Everyone's going to be born different and all that sort of stuff. But I think when the vast majority of fitness seems to be catering around the beauty of a man, that to me doesn't attract me at all. That is just, it's not appealing to me. What's appealing to me is when I see a dude that can deadlift 300 kilos, squat 180 kilos, 250 kilos, whatever he's squatting, he can bench a lot. When I see that, I'm like, okay, this man is a capable dude, right? So if somebody rushes through the door, it's like there's a mountain of a man in front of the invader protecting his family. I know this guy is capable in the backyard. If we need to shift some rocks or dig a hole, he can do that. I can call him over to lift some furniture around. He's just a capable man, right? That's kind of what I grew up in my own family. Like the men were capable. You're physically able. But now it's different. And so for your original question, I'll just go back to like, what sort of man do you want to be? Do you want to be the capable man or not? If you don't want to be a capable man, if that doesn't excite you, you being a role model for your offspring, then I don't know if anything else is ever going to come close to motivating you. And maybe I'm talking to somebody that doesn't have kids. That's probably likely. I don't know much about you, but maybe one day when you do have your own kids, you're gonna feel that pride. You're gonna feel that responsibility towards that thought. Yeah. For me, I've always valued some of these other things. Like for instance, for me, if two different men came in here, one is a billionaire and another one is not a billionaire, I would look at how they're standing, what their posture is and whatever, and I'll be like, okay, even if I know this guy's a billionaire, I'll probably think more of the character who has size and who trains and who's fit and whatnot. That's just me, because, money aside, it's about capability. What are you capable of? And I know this sounds primitive. It's like, okay, Ivan, you're talking about fighting. None of this weightlifting is going to make you a better fighter. I'm not even talking about fighting. I'm just talking about usefulness. Strength is useful. You want to be useful. I'm not talking about fighting. Obviously, if I wanted to fight, I'd go into UFC and train that. I'm not talking about that. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to do anything, strength is the mother of all physical attributes. And somebody that is strong is just simply more useful. You are more resilient to to disease. You're just overall a stronger human being. And obviously there's a lot of research now to back it up that lean muscle mass and bone density is a great predictor of health and longevity. So I don't know what you thought, what stopped you from training, where you lost your motivation. Well, my question would be to you is, why did you lose your motivation? What was your motivation originally? Was it for a girl and now you have a girl and now you've lost everything? That's a common thing, which I struggle to understand. Once you've got the girl, don't you want to also make her proud? Don't you want to make sure that she always looks at you deep inside of her? She's like, I've got the best one. And if in 5 years' time, if she looks at you and you've got a fat gut, look, dude, you can't even take care of yourself, man. Like, how are you going to take care of me and my family they're creating here? I don't know. I see a lot of this stuff in 30s and 40s. People are just completely letting go of themselves, and it looks so sad to me. Dude, I don't give a shit what your salary is, man. I don't really care. You're not a capable human being, man. Like, you got one leg in your grave with this fat gut hanging out and these skinny ass noodly arms. You know, you look sad. You look like not a leader. You're not a leader. You're not somebody that I would aspire to be. Your kids probably think you're a loser. Anyway, without going too further into it, that's kind of the line of thought that I have when I think about that question. What are the obesity rates and trends in Australia? Sure, it's probably on par with America. Very bad. Any plans on using the incline bench to put in a few variation days for bench, more conjugate style? Bisma, I did that last night. I did some incline benching. 3 sets of 20 after the bench. I'll do some today as well, probably, depending on how it all feels. Miss says, I'm from the UK. My hometown, London, has quadrupled in cost of living in the past 5 years. There you go. Being in my 20s, thinking of how prices is very stressful. Absolutely. The next generation is screwed. Without a doubt, man. AJ says, the problem is I don't enjoy it anymore. I only look at the numbers. At the start, I actually enjoyed it. I think I've sucked the joy out of it for myself. You're right, though. It goes beyond lifting. Without a doubt, it goes beyond lifting. What I always tell people all the time, and this is what I tell my kids all the time, there is a process that we're trying to learn here. Whether we're talking about weightlifting, whether we're talking about business, whether we're talking about anything else, there is a system, there is a process that is carried over between all of these things. The system of mastery, how do you master something? Regardless of what the topic you're trying to master, the thing is going to be the same. There's going to be pitfalls, there's going to be hurdles, there's going to be struggles. You have to work through it. You need to rock up even when you don't want to rock up. You have to work with when there's pain. You have to work when it's raining, when it's cold. You have to just constantly work, and that discipline comes through that process. And you develop a thicker callus, a tougher callus. You develop, this resilience to stress. You develop coping mechanisms to stress, adverse events. You become essentially stronger, and life, a lot of this stuff is mental. Everything's mental. My only thing is, okay, stop training. What's the alternative? Let's just explore that idea. You've stopped training. You have now completely detrained. You've not touched anything for a year. What have you got? You've got an unfit body, and when your body is unfit, probably your mind is also not fit as well. You're not resilient as a system, as an organism. You're not resilient to stress. What do you now look like in a social environment? You don't stand out as somebody that has strong posture and emits this command of attention. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in our minds subconsciously. When a man walks into the room and he walks in all slouched over like a fucking Mr. Burns, people take quarter eye look and then, oh, he's not a threat. But if some guy walks in and he's got his chest out and it looks like he's just fucking benched 4 or 5, he walks in, he looks like he's got, all of a sudden our primitive brain looks at that and straight away registers that guy as a potential threat. And so no matter what happens in this room that we're doing, whether it's a lecture, whether it's a hospital or whatever, part of our brain, whether you're not actively thinking about it, you're like, if shit goes down, that guy might be the most useful guy here. Or if that guy decides to kill everyone here, he probably has the biggest chance of doing this. So there is this like subconscious respect that you get out of having a physical form, just posture. And this is the funny thing is like when you're neck down, when you're fit and strong and ready, physically ready, you know, for an altercation or for physical work, what happens above the neck in your head, your mental health picks up just intrinsically because your mind knows that you have something that is capable. And when you walk into a room and it's all freaking pencil necks all around, a sea of pencil necks, your mind subconsciously, you're not actually thinking about this, your mind is like, okay, if I get in trouble here, I can just throw these bodies around and make my way out. I can punch my way out of here. That type of thing. It's like you're subconsciously, you know, you've done the work. You've done the work. You can deadlift 300 kilos. You can move weight. You can move mass around. And so mentally, you become more confident in social occasions, in social gatherings. You just become more useful. And your brain knows that. Your freaking deep mind knows that. And so, fuck the numbers, dude. The destination is not the goal here. It's the process. The process. The process gives you that superpower mentally and physically. And in a world where there's 8 billion people, you don't want to be the weakest one around, man. You don't want to be that. You always have to train. Just like you have to be mentally, you know, capable to think through problems and laterally think, and you need to be able to work through certain situations. You also need to be physically ready, man. Like this is a physical existence that we're in. You know, we're not in a freaking simulation on a computer, man. Like there's a physical form here. And so that is a big deal for me. Absolutely big deal. You know, and I feel it sometimes when I walk into situations, barbecues, kids' barbecues or whatever, and I'm the only motherfucker there that can do a push-up. I'm looking around, I'm like, the hell have I walked into, man? He like, without any disrespect to anyone, I just look at some of these men and I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? What are you, man? What the fuck is this? You've got a wife and 2 kids and you've decided to just get 15 months pregnant in the process? Like, what sort of example? You're supposed to be a leader to this family. Like, what is this? To me, that is unacceptable. Like, I don't care what your salary is. I don't care how far you've gone in your career. You need to be some sort of a physical specimen here. Like, well, you're going to rely on your wife to protect the family? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm very much a traditionalist when it comes to this. I don't know. I think there's mixed messaging now in the world. Like I said to you, I think masculinity is very much under threat. It's been under attack for quite a while. And now men are like, you know, being aggressive and being physically imposing is a negative thing in society. Oh, really? Is that right? And who are these people that you send off to the front lines to the war when there's trouble around? Who do you call when you got to build a building or a skyscraper? Who the fuck are you called? You call some of these pencil necks? Who's doing the hard fucking work around here? Oh, but you know, aggressive males are not very good. Like, you know, physically imposing men are very, very bad. Really? Really? So you can pick and choose when you really want some of these traits around. Anyway, I could probably go on a rant and a half, and I already have been. For UK, Djuric is screwed. Hey man, I've been sub for a while. Don't get to tune in as much. Busy with life, but keep up love the hard work. Thank you, Lal. Appreciate that, man. I'm going to dip and chat with some friends. I hope your benching goes well, man. Thank you, Reed. All the best, man. I'll catch you next time. Probably already gone. Jota play for Liverpool. One of his men attacker just died. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Jota. I saw the news. Unbelievable, man. Diego Jota. Insane. Yeah, that wrist has nothing left. Wow. Destruction, man. Absolute freaking destruction. Alrighty, let me whiz you boys around to another corner. Where do I put yous? Where do I put you boys? That's the question. Can you even see if I'm here? Oh, man. By the way, Van, for answering my question earlier, I appreciate it and I love getting your raw and honest advice. Octavidad, always a pleasure, man. When you ran overhead squats back in the day, what was your PR? Do you think Ollie lifting will make its way back into your lifting? I love Olympic weightlifting. I love many of its elements. But it's just so technically demanding, man. Like, I don't have years to dedicate to this shit. Look, it's my chewing gum. Fucking hell. I forgot to put it in the bin yesterday. Yeah, I just don't have the time required to sink in. It's a young person's thing. Like, if my son wanted to get into it, now before he starts putting on, muscle and size and whatever, this is the time to get the technique down. But for me, I feel like it's a bit too late. Overhead squats, push presses, snatch balances, all of that is great stuff. Great stuff. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. And it made my squat feel better, like the whole upper back, training. Let me now warm up the bench a bit. That's one. Definitely lost fitness. I can even feel it in the warm-ups. I feel like I can't make it through the 5 sets without absolutely burning up. Maximir says, hey Van, ever considered taking a break from nursing and doing a labouring job like bricklaying, etc. to really encompass degrees of groove, train every day concept? Always enjoy your thoughts. Cheers. Maximir, I'd love to. If I didn't have the responsibilities that I have, with the fam and the mortgage and all of the financial stress, I'd love to do a lot of many different jobs around the place. But the days for me and my experimenting on some of the bigger topics of life are long past me, man. I have to provide, Once upon a time, I wanted to become a doctor as well. There's lots of different things I would love to try and do and further my passions here and there, everywhere. It's just all of that stuff gets put on hold when you start a family and your number one role is to provide. And it just becomes a situation where you care about your kids more than your own career and progression or whatever. And so all of that is up on hold. I can't do any of this stuff. Whatever I've got, I'll keep. The nursing career is going to be my main breadwinner for the rest of my life, probably. Unless I bloody win the lotto, which I don't even play, so chances of that happening are zero. But yeah, it's just the way life is, man. Life catches up real quick, and then you got other responsibilities you have to attend to. Joshua Cooking, Michael Madsen, rest in peace. We can see you well. I work in a busy environment. I always see a bunch of overweight pencil necks. I respect the big dudes who put effort in the gym. Me too, Miz, without a doubt. Bungus says fitness is never lost nor created, only transfers forms. Nice, I like that. I will call it a night earlier. I will train in the morning. Respect, AJ. Have a good night, Ivan. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Hopefully I've had some sort of an impact on your thoughts. I could probably use the Ollie lift as a warm-up. That's true. Do you ever give lifting advice to patients, or does it come up during visits? Yeah, a lot of times, like recognizes like. So if I see a guy that looks like he trains straight away, I'm like, you go to the gym, that's often the start of it, and we get chatting, and usually the person lights up when you find another gym bro in the wild. You tend to kind of get excited to talk gym, especially in a professional environment where, let's say, the last 4 or 5 hours you've barely even thought about this, and now you're talking to somebody. And so, gym bros respect gym bros no matter which walk of life, Hey man, I'm back again. Ali Khan, what's happening, man? Oh, without a doubt. Like, I think everyone appreciates somebody that is putting the effort in. It's just the way it is. Oh, man. All right. Let's slap some weight on then, huh? Yeah, that's right. Won't send him straight to the pharmacy. Holy crap. To give somebody advice that doesn't involve a pill is always a rare thing. Yeah, that's right, Ms. What's your average RPM on YouTube? What's my average RPM on YouTube? What do you mean by RPM? Like views? Ivan's own Gold's Gym. Oh, that's it. Nah, Ms. The missus, somebody asked me this a few videos ago. The missus doesn't train anymore, unfortunately. Don't know. It's a sore spot for me, but yeah, she's not interested like me. Can't get enough of the bloody exercise. So bloody good. It makes the elbows feel so nice. So nice. Have I squatted 500 pounds yet? No, not yet. Missing out on gains, absolutely. Yeah. I wish she was crazy to training like me, but no. She doesn't. She's busy as well, but I get it. I think everyone's got time. I thought you did 500 years ago. No, Caleb, I never did 500. 215 is my max. So I'm 15 kilos away from 500. 215 kg is my max. I've done, I don't know if you're getting confused with the deadlift. I had some deadlift PRs 6 months ago or something, before end of last year, but not squat. Squat was like 10 months ago now or something like that. Robert, hi Ivan, love your content. I was wondering how YouTube contributes to your income. Like what percentage of your take home is from the main nursing gig and what percentage is from the channel? Cheers. Oh, Robert, very little. YouTube doesn't contribute anything to my life in terms of my main living. So my nursing pays for my life. YouTube pays for an extra plate every few months or extra piece of equipment. And so the YouTube is completely redirected towards the channel. So I get nothing out of the YouTube money other than what you see there. So there's no leftover for anything crazy, you know. It's a very small sum of money. Back in the day, during COVID times, it was much better. Now it's completely gone down, and it's not a big sum of money at all. Back during the COVID times, I was living off a fraction of that money because it was consistently pretty good. Now it's if I had to rely on YouTube, I'll probably be homeless, especially in this economy. Everyone thinks YouTube is a get-rich-quick scheme. Yeah, it's such a misconception. I don't know why everyone thinks that all YouTubers are just loaded. I think a lot of YouTubers fake it because they think faking it is going to draw more attention in success. Look how successful am I, blah, 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 all that stuff. But the truth of the matter is there is some people absolutely killing it on YouTube. The vast majority, it's a job that is less than minimum wage. So the amount of hours that I put into this, I would get 4 times more money on minimum wage, right? That's kind of what we're dealing with here, man. The amount of hours I put into this, damn. If I did all of these hours that I do on YouTube, right? If I just said to myself, I'm going to take all of these hours instead of training and doing videos and all this stuff, I just go back to the hospital and work, my salary will be double. There's no doubt about that. So just think that through, man. But this is a passion, this is a joy, this makes me happy. Lots of other things. Nursing doesn't make me happy like that, right? So we do this because it's a hobby. We love to do this. I love to do this, and I love the interaction, the community, the thoughts, the journey. I love all of that. And so for me, it is well worth it. But I never look through the money lens. That is never on my mind at all. Whatever YouTube sends me, it's kind of like a present, and I think about, okay, how can I reinvest it into the channel? And that is basically it. It's not like, oh, you know, fuck. You know, I might buy next year I'll buy a house out of this YouTube money. No. It's not like that, my friend. Is my answer including Patreon? Oh, so Patreon, where are we? Patreon included, yes. So Patreon, the support that I get on Patreon is amazing. That is literally the lifeblood of the channel. Without Patreon, there would be no support at all. Like the YouTube algorithms, sometimes they're with you, sometimes they're not. If you look at some of my videos, they hardly get, I mean, now I'm doing like the clippings from these lives, so there's a lot of videos coming out, but like a lot of them don't even get 1,000 views. And so if you get, so my rate is like $3 per 1,000 views. so we're talking about $3 a day. Actually, that's a really good way to portray this. Just look at the views that I get. You don't get money for nothing. You get money for views. If you don't get the views, you don't get the money. And so if the algorithm says, no one cares about you, Ivan, blah, 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 we're not, recommending your stuff anymore, cool, no worries, bye-bye. So I get 2,000 views. Sometimes if I get really lucky, I get 5,000 views. Like, wow, fucking hell. That's amazing. Or $15. I got $15 out of this. It's amazing. Patreon, however, doesn't have that volatility. So Patreon, there's a whole community there that just supports me. They give $1 a month. A lot of you guys are there as well. Support me on there. And $1 a month, there's like a whole stack of people there. There's a whole stack of people that give me $20 a month. All of the names are listed on the credits of my videos. Those names were the all-time total names. A lot of these people have come and gone. And so the real number of how many supporters I have, if you go on Patreon, you'll be able to see what the number is there. A lot of them are free Patreon supporters, which means they don't contribute to anything. They're just kind of boosting my numbers. But a lot of them are giving $1 or $5 or $20. That is the lifeblood of the blood. And so all that money that comes in each month gets re-put into the channel somehow. So the $2,000 that I spent on the gym equipment, that comes from that budget. What else did I buy? The safety squat bar, the extra barbell. What else did I buy? This bench, Rogue bench, I bought that. The GHD I bought. The weight tree, the metal plates, and all the miscellaneous stuff. Like I bought a bunch of bands, deadlift jack, a bunch of dumbbells, a kettlebell, and then Bells of Steel hooked me up with the tower. That's Bells of Steel. I had to pay the importation of that though. Like, so it was like $400 to get it into the country. So I paid that. They sent me a belt squat. Once again, it was a whole pallet of equipment. So I had to pay tax to get into the country, which was like $400 or $500 or something like that. What else? Oh, they sent me another SSB. Yeah, so I get support from Patreon and Bells of Steel. In fact, Bells of Steel messaged me recently again. They want to send me a few more goodies. But in terms of like the percentage of the income, nah, all of this stuff is just straight back into the gym, into the videos. I bought this microphone out of the money. I also bought a GoPro, which fucking I thought I was going to use, but it didn't get a lot of use out. But YouTube in itself, it's an unreliable income source. Very unreliable. Patreon is like the stable on the graph. Let me get this set. my God. I failed that. Woo-wee. Can't even get 23. Oh! That incline yesterday screwed me up pretty good. I was hoping to get one set here every day, but not going to happen. Still far away from pre-sickness. Hi Ivan, love your content. Have you ever considered how much of a beast you are of your own strength to squat 210 full ATG? Without a belt, knee support, it's elite. Thank you, Miz. Appreciate it, man. I've come a long way, you know. I'm quite happy with where I am. Robert says, thanks for the answer. I'm a musician and we all sacrifice to do what we love. I find your dedication inspiring and similar to how I approach music. Amazing, Robert. The only advice I will give you, man, is focus on what you love, do what you love. Don't think about the money will come after. Never have money as your number one motivation. If you love music, just do music. And just get absorbed by it, study it, master it. And as a side effect, you might get some money, but that's not your concern. You're chasing mastery, and that's how I think about it. I've heard YouTube won't pay out until you reach a certain amount of cash as well. I think it's $100 a month from what I remember. If you get $100 a month, they'll pay out. So yeah. And then if you don't get $100 a month, then you have to wait the second month to accumulate that before they pay out. Repping 100 for fun. That was fun. That was good. That shit was good. But I'll tell you what, it felt different. It felt very, very different. I felt like my triceps were spent. I feel like when you do incline, there's a lot more triceps going on. So I feel like my triceps are spent. Oh my goodness. Oh man. I felt my forearms in that set big time. What to do now? Time to squat, I think. Let's warm up for the squat. Let me set up for that. Whew. I want to try something different today with the squat. So I've been doing abductor work before squatting. Today I want to change it up a little bit. I want to do the opposite. Even though I've previously had pretty poor outcomes with that in terms of how the squat feels after you hit the adductors. I want to try it again. I really want to put that on blast and see if that is true. I want to suss it out, boys. There you are. So much so that last night, I was in this thought and I was like, you know what, fuck. I'm curious. And so last night, like 11 o'clock at night, I came out here and I banged out 5 sets of 45 kilos, which I'll do. No, I did more than that. I did 5 sets of 45 and 3 sets of 55. let's go to 45. And I loved it. Felt really good. Where are we? I didn't squat today. Sack, why, man? Dips are beneficial for increased bench press strength. Would you get dip station for the home? I don't have a dip station, but what I do have is I've got those squat stands, and I've got some safeties that I can use. Oh, fuck. Oh, that is fucking something. Oh. Fuck, that is so tight. Yeah, this machine before squats is amazing. But I feel like it takes away from your top strength. But today I'm going to see how it feels. I'm going to smash the adductors and then I'll squat and see what happens. Probably a whole bunch of instability. I'll do a few sets. Oh man, I'm sore from last night. Damn it. That is very sore and tight. Oh man, 2 training sessions is very hard nowadays with the way life is. Very hard to find the time. But I would do it, yeah, for sure. You could break it up. You know, you could do your main stuff in the morning or whatever, and at night come in and do bits and pieces like, you know, wrists, this, that. Ugh. Man, stretching, I feel like changes your bloody frequency of your organism. Oh my God, I just feel calm now all of a sudden. Like all this tension leaving my body, I just feel like, ugh. And this is the trouble with this lift, with this exercise. The stretch just, I think it's going to be very hard for me to squat after this. Oh man, brutal. You hitting them 200 a daily was a fun series. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, 31 days in a row I got to. It was pretty cool. Yeah. It was a good time. Do you ever get therapy work like deep tissue massage or dry needling? Never. The last time I got a massage was probably, close to 10 years ago. But I've got a massage gun and I sometimes PVC pipe, my muscles. What else do I do? I stretch. Sometimes that's hot and cold, depending on the season and my thought and the current motivation for stretching. It goes up and down. Actually, I think this is enough for now. I'll do 3 sets now. I'll do some after the squats. Oh, fuck. Hey, what do you think of warm-up sets and routines before the big stuff? I know you prehab, but like specific set seems I screw up 155 of 10, 205 AMRAP. I like big jumps, but don't like the 20-pound single rep jumps. What do you think of warm-up sets? Warm-up sets and routines before big stuff. I know prehab, but like specific sets seems I screw up 155 for 10. Oh, so it depends on what you're doing, dude. It depends on what you're after there. If you're going up for a PR, doing 255 for 10 is not a great idea, man. It just depends on what the approach is. If you're, I don't know. Like I feel like you need to warm up, so I tend to warm up with an empty barbell, like you saw me with the bench. But then I kind of save myself until I get to the working weight, and then I do the working sets. So I do 100 kilos for a set of 23. That's my working set. I'll do 60 kilos for one. But at the barbell level, I'll do 5 sets of 20. So I try to warm up without screwing up the working sets. Oh. Alrighty. Whew. Yeah, where are we? It's definitely been my approach, high reps that have tanked my heavy stuff. He said it only works on lat pull down because of less CNS recruitment. No, dude. The big movements, you need to have a clear plan. And you need to have a clear plan where you're putting your effort in. You don't want to be pre-fatiguing yourself before the real fatiguing stuff. So there's a way to warm up. So you just gotta basically you have to get warm enough for the working sets to not get injured and to be more proficient in that movement. That doesn't mean you die on the warm-ups though. Alrighty. Bit of this, bit of that. I've always been a big fan of warming up before the barbell. Then I just movement pattern too heavy single days. Yeah, you gotta warm up, man. Warm up is probably the most underappreciated thing ever, especially for rookie or beginner stage, probably even intermediate, man. People don't realize how important warm ups are. As you start to kind of back on the years of training experience, you start to really realize the importance of it all. Like it's each their own and whatever, but dude, you gotta warm up. Because I finished the top set and felt all right. I warmed up and bench was the lift for the whole day. Like what I guess I should go do cardio then. Glenn's at raw ATG, but he admits to being enhanced. Yeah, enhanced is different. Is the whole reason he doesn't compete. Plus, he bombed out at his last one he did, if I remember correctly. He's just a solid gym lifter. Yeah, Clarence is one of those guys that when I first got into lifting, I saw him and I was like, dang, I want to be like that. He doesn't look like he's on steroids. He doesn't look like he's like a big bodybuilder, but he's really strong. Really appealed to me. And then later down the track, I realized that he was, as I started to kind of learn more and more about the thing. But like, that's kind of what gave me the 300 kilo goal. It was very early in my understanding. I just started getting into the whole community. And I thought that was possible naturally. You know, exactly how he squatted ATG raw, you know. And then as I was kind of learning more and more, I realized how elite that actually was. But, you know, you live and learn. um, you've definitely mentioned just get in and warm up. I've seen you do a lot of fives. That's true, Caleb. Is 300 kilo squat possible for an addy? Depends how, dude. It really depends how. How you're going to squat it. The way I want to squat it is very, very rare. It is damn near impossible, if not impossible, to squat 300 kilos, ATG, no belt, no sleeves. That is very, very impossible. But if you slide that bar down to your back and you do low bar, then it becomes much more possible. Still, you need to be an elite lifter, but it's much more doable. Maybe or not is probably based on genetics. Low bar maybe. Yeah, James, low bar. That's the only way you'll be able to do it. I haven't seen too many natural people do it. In fact, yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen any lifters to squat exactly like high bar, ATG, that I 100% believe is natural. And the people that I once thought were natural doing it ended up being non-natural. So I don't really know anything anymore, dude. I'm completely lost. What about any low bar singles for going heavy for you, Mr. Ivan? I'm not very good at low bar at all. I tried it and I felt like my adductors were going to fucking come off the bone. Towards the end of last year, I started low bar squatting, wide stance or wider stance, and I felt very, very shaky. And now that I've come to mention it, thanks for the reminder. It probably reinforces that I need to do a lot of adductor work. My adductors are trash, man, trash. From all the years of narrow stance squatting, my adductors have not been developed right, I think, which explains a lot of my troubles. Yeah, but yeah, my adductors are not strong enough. I feel like I'm going to tear. When people say they ain't natty low. What is more important for strength? Big arms, big back, or big legs? Big back, man. I'm a big believer of that. Big back is the common denominator in all. You got a big back, you are capable. It's that back, man. That back is the key. Oh gosh, I did heavy squats and did heavy adductors, and oh my god, I pulled my groin. Doing sumo deadlifts paid dividends for adductor for me. There you go. The trouble with me when I do sumos is that I feel a lot of lower back as well. So I tried it out a few times. Just my lower back gets smoked. My lower back absolutely gets trashed. Something about having my legs like in that position, I just turns all lower back. That's enough. Ah, fuck. Bloody, so much effort just to put the weights back. All right, gentlemen, let me take you over to the next station of training. Ha. The shit keeps on coming. There's always more shit to do. Always more shit to do. Welcome, welcome. Very welcome. Look at that. Bloody beautiful, mate. Bloody beautiful. Oh, and for some of you boys that are wondering, throw some WD-40 on this shit. Well, I put a whole stack of it last night on that machine and fucking the squeaking didn't stop. I can't find the squeak. So, I don't know, man. I don't know where the bloody squeak is. But she's squeaking all right. Oh, Lord. All right, let me get a little drink here. And then we'll do this for a few sets. Oh, Miz. You're a champion, dude. Amazing support. You're always hooking me up, Miz. It's always amazing for me to see the appreciation and the respect and the support that I get online. It's amazing. That's why I always say to people, man, like this is just sharing a passion. That's what all this is for me. And you find like-minded people, like you fellas, that are chatting with me right now. You know, we're talking about what we want to talk about. And we all care about the same stuff. It's beautiful. To me, at least. Now, this machine makes a sandwich out of your bloody junk. Wonder about Tom Platt style low bar. Essentially a push-up hand placement of feet. I'm such a hingy squatter. Hey, Josh, same as me, man. I hinge like crazy. Wide stance, low bar, suit, belt wraps, stiff knee sleeves. And watching from the UK, it's 4:23. I work nights. Oh, there you go, Miz. I had no idea. There you go. I remember you said last time you were in the UK, and sometimes like I log on and I'm like, isn't it nighttime over there? But there you go. Hopefully it's not a busy night, man. All right, let me do a bunch of these now. I've always wondered how you got so good at front squat. Josh, are you talking to me about the front squat? Yash Kadam, what's up, man? Thank you. Thank you, Yash. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for the support on Patreon as well, man. I saw the notification last night that it came through. Really means a lot to have your support on there as well, man. So I just wanted to, I know I've messaged you on there and we've been talking, but really wanted to point you out here as well, man. You're a beast for doing that, and it's very much appreciated. Abductors every day. David, absolutely. Both of these guys, every single day, hip every day. And funnily enough, my hips have been feeling absolutely beautiful since. And you know what happens when I start to feel good in my hips? When there's no hip pain, I feel strong. When I feel strong, I can squat really good. That 400 flew by. I probably had 210 in me today, which is all positive signs. So keep on keeping on. Keep those hips, lateral hips, happy, and things should start to come our way. Oh, Josh, you're talking to me. So Josh, the front squat, a lot of people have asked me, how the hell are you good at a front squat like? I think the reason why I'm good at front squats is because I'm really good at the deadlift, relatively speaking, in all of the rest of my abilities. The front squat is so back dominant, and a lot of people are like, no way, Ivan, that makes no sense. Shouldn't be all quads. No. The front squat limiting factor is the back. It's the upper back. It's the thoracic extension. It's the lower back extension as well while you're in deep knee flexion and hip flexion. You got to keep your back straight. Any deviation forward, any collapse of the chest forward, you are fucking cooked. You cannot front squat with a rounded back. It is fucking impossible. The bar will just completely bend you over. Any millimeter of deviation from your thoracic spine forward, the forces just skyrocket, exponentially rocket against you. It's like a lever that's like this huge, big lever. You know, any little bit of lean forward, the weight just starts to accelerate. So you have to balance this thing, this big, just imagine I don't know, like a big ball on top of a metal steel rod. You can balance that thing. It's pretty light, right? But the moment that thing starts to go forward, it starts to accelerate. It's that centrifugal, what's it called? Centripetal acceleration. Is that what it's called? Oh my God, I can't remember my physics days at all. Centripetal acceleration when the weights in like circle. So that's exactly what's happening with the front squat. The weight's in a position where it has a very, very small margin for error. And so your fight, of course, I can squat 180 kilos with my legs. That is not a problem. I can push 180 kilos with my legs. That is not the problem. I need to push that weight while balancing my upper back. And so it's this fine balance between sending it and spinning your tires, putting all the power down in your car, and also traction. So it's like you don't want to send too much power to the wheels because then you'll lose traction and you just start spinning. And that's what I feel like the front squat is. It's about bleeding the power in with the number one focus being that traction, that positioning. The position is everything. And so when I'm front squatting, I'm like, okay, how much power have I got to give before the back gives out? Sometimes the back starts to give out and I'm like, oh, and I've lost it. So it's tricky in that sense. But when I do lots of rack pulls, deadlifts, GHDs, rowing, my front squats feel amazing. All of the back stuff, just chest out. I feel really good in it. It's just how it is. Ooh, David, my man. Thank you so much for your support, David. You are a legend for doing this. Much, much appreciated, man. You guys have been amazing today. Miz and David and everyone here chatting and sharing, and it's been beautiful, guys. Really appreciate it. Really. Is he asleep? Can you open the window? I'll finish up in 5 minutes. Boys, I just got a message from the missus. I gotta get out of here. She's gotta run off, get the kids from school, and the little guy's asleep. So I've got baby duties now. I completely lost track of time. Completely lost. It's bloody 1 o'clock already. See, time warp, man. This place. Where are we? Yash, thank you, man. Thank you. Oh, Lord. Damn, how the hell is it 1 o'clock already? I've done 2 sets. 1 set, 1 set. I'm gonna run through these last 3 sets. Miz, again, you're a legend, dude. Yeah, always misses. Absolutely. Family's always number one. I don't hide it. I don't act tough in front of you guys. I always tell you where the priorities are. Family's number one. There's nothing in this life that's going to make you happier and more complete than having a family, a supporting wife, loving kids. And the more time you spend into them, the more rewarded you're going to feel. There's no doubt about that. All of this is great and I love this. This is a big hobby, but it doesn't compare at all. It doesn't even get near the number one priority in my life. So even with a family guy like me who puts family first, you can still do all of this stuff. You can still get after it and train and be strong for them and have this, fit, active lifestyle. And I've got 3 kids running around constantly. Me and my missus, we're just constantly tag teaming, You guys wonder, like, how the hell can you spend 2 hours of training a day? This is my 2 hours that I have free time without any responsibilities. She's in the house taking care of business, and boom, we just tap, hand over, bang. She runs out to do her bits. Then I jump in and I take over, and then at some point she's gonna say to me, can I duck out, go to dinner with the girls, or do this or do that, or whatever, go shopping? And I'm like, cool, I'll go with the kids. The kids stay with me, and so it's a partnership. And that's what it's about. And so when people say to me, I don't have time, and I'm like, fucking hell, dude. Like, I don't know what you got going on. It just comes down to priorities, And I'll say this. I was going to just say 2 seconds ago, but then I caught myself. I was going to say, oh, but you don't even have kids. How are you don't have time? I remember a time when I was before kids, when I was a single guy. It was a busy time, man. It was a freaking busy time. Life was running around because, back then when I was 20, freaking go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get drunk most of those days. This is when I gave up basketball and I was in between basketball and training. I was kind of like just partying and, chasing, being a young fella running around. And so it was like, fucking either I'm hungover, I'm sleeping most of the following day, or I'm going to uni for lectures and placements and assignments and all that. It was busy all the time. Social life is very, very busy. It used to take a large portion of my life, man. All right, let's do number 3. 1. I feel like I'm getting better and better in this machine. So that was 3. That was 3 pretty good ones. I've got the window open, so if the little fella wakes up, I'll know exactly when he wakes up. So let's just keep going until that happens. He's sleeping in his bedrooms, the doors are open. Usually he wakes up and he goes, hey, where's everybody? And then it becomes a race to get to the bedroom to see who's going to get the first cuddle, the first kiss. And a lot of the times, the other kids beat us to it. And they get the best first kisses and hugs after a nap. It's a pure joy, boys. Pure joy. Oh. I've been doing this machine and that machine every single day. And hips have felt freaking amazing. Fuck, what an investment. What an investment. It's like a gift from up above. And everything works and it's fucking beautiful. That's all you want. Ivan, can you show those wrist exercises with a purple band? A purple band? Oh, it's not a band, man. It's just it's a strap. It's a toe strap. I've done so many of those videos, man. If you just do a search on the channel, do like pronation, type in pronation or supination. Pronation, you should pop up. I don't have time to do it right now. I just want to get through these exercises and then run inside the house. But if you're tomorrow, I'll do a live stream, I think, if I have enough time. Yeah, I will. And then I can show it to you then if you want, other side of the stream. So that was 3. That's 4. Yeah, if you've got trouble with your wrists, man, this is, yeah, start there, definitely. And look at other content online around arm wrestling and how they strengthen their forearms. It's a new world, man, if you've never been to it. Why do I lean forward and not back? So the reason why I don't just sit back like this is because when I do this, I feel like I slide down. And so that kind of made me lean forward a little bit. And when I leaned forward, oh my God, a lot more glutes than you would imagine. Ivan, what's a real life demonstration for strength, the squat or the deadlift? Well, for the squat, anything. Have you ever climbed up a staircase? Have you ever been hiking? Have you ever had to push a car? Have you ever had to, I don't know, anything like that where you're pushing things? I remember I had my car broke down when I was like, I don't know, 20 odd. And I had to push the car. It was kind of around the corner. I wanted to push it to the mechanic, the nearest mechanic. And I was pushing that car and my mum was in the car at the front just like steering it. Oh my God. I think I had to push it like 400 meters. I was absolutely knackered. I was dead after that. What an exercise that is. Holy shit. Sheen over here said, if you lean back, you get more medius. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Oh. I don't know, man. I don't really care what's being targeted. I just want to get stronger in spreading in the abduction. That's all I want. That's what I'm chasing. So bloody beautiful boys. All right, since the little fella hasn't woken up yet, I will finish off with the adductor. And then as soon as the little fella wakes up, I'll have to run off and grab him, bring him back, and say bye to you guys. And over here, we will try really go nuts. Yeah, lots of the girls lean ultra forward with max machine. There you go. I want to add a plate to all my weak areas for real. It sounds like the machine needs WD-40. I tried, man. I tried putting WD-40 on everything, and you'd go slower. Yeah. For peak relaxation or some rakia. Are you progressing to 2 yoga blocks? On this one, not quite yet. I don't have the mobility yet. All right. Oh, Lord. I can't even get into this thing. Let me just see here. 64. That is tough. Out of the SBD, which you least likely do? Oh, probably the deadlift. That's probably the least frequent thing I do nowadays. Used to be, I used to hit it like a couple of times a week, but I've moved away from that. Why not put an extra yoga block on the upper thigh pad or just one on the knee? It's an interesting placement. The reason for that is when you put the block a bit higher, it compresses the adductor that's working and it feels funky. There's a bunch of tendons at the knee, and if you're compressing them while you're doing this, it feels interesting. Generally speaking, you don't want to be interfering with the muscles that are working, and so by putting the blocks higher, you'd be pushing into the adductor that's actually flexing. Not a good idea. How come you do the 5 sets daily for portions? What do you mean for portions? I don't understand the portions bit. Yeah, this is a very old machine, man. Very, very old. Like bench as stint for cycle. As in portion. I don't understand what you mean, Josh. What do you mean by that? Alrighty. Like, I remember you said you like to get up to 5 sets on a movement, and it seems like that happens many days a week. So I was wondering, oh, why 5? It's just trial and error, Josh. For some reason, if I get to 5 sets of whatever, like in the bench press, 5 sets of 20 or then 5 sets of 23, if I can get that much volume in 5 sets of that given repetition scheme, then I'm ready for the next increment. If I, let's say, only get 3 sets of whatever, and I try to go up, I feel like I'm not ready and my body is not strong enough for the next level. In my experience, when I get to 5 reps, just trial and error, it seems like I've now mastered that particular weight and I can move on. That's not anything special other than my personal experience of training a little while. And if you can smash that weight 5 times for those 5 sets, you're good enough now for improvement. Why does he squat every day? Classic. Why does anyone do anything? Lou, I'll counter question. Why does anybody do anything? Visible, I raise you, I rep as I breathe. Oh, Josh, you got that one wrong as well, man. The exercise philosopher is divine, finding meaning in the movement scientist for real. Would you ever try sumo deads again? Yeah, absolutely. But this needs to be easier. I need to be able to get my knees out of the way. I don't have the longest arms, and so I need to really make up for that in my hips. But my hips are not flexible enough, mobile enough. Really rarely see you do any pulling, but your bench is strong. I get you're paying your dues. What do you mean by pulling? Like pull-ups, rows, or deadlifts, or just all of it? Oh man. that, my friends. I feel like I've broken my freaking hips. If you were to add up all of the pulling that I've done in my life, it's probably 10 times to 1, 10 to 1 ratio between pulling and pushing on the upper body. I've done so much rowing, so much pulling up in my life, man. So even though currently I'm not doing much pulling, there is a whole history there of me doing pulling. And because I'm built the way I'm built, I'm much more better at pulling than at pushing. Fellas, let me leave you here. I'm gonna run off. Take care of the little one. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll do another one of these lives. And yeah, we'll go from there, I guess. Single leg squat jumpers. Josh, thank you so much. Miz, appreciate you guys. Visible Aesthetics, thank you guys. I'll catch you on in the next one, eh? All right. Let's try and stand up. Oh. Peace out, guys. Catch you.